launching in March 2026 globally, which is fantastic. This is a gacha game, a semi-degenerate gacha game, a beautiful upcoming gacha game that I'm very excited for. Over here, you'll see everything. The announcement, a little bit of drama the game has been in leading up to launch. I know, wow, in a shocking turn of events, a brand new gacha game has some drama ahead of release or after release. This right here is why you should join our gacha Discord, the Gacha Hub. That way, you can submit things for me to react to. You can stay up to date with everything going on outside of my weekly gacha recaps. We're at 985 members. At 1,000, we're going to be doing a giveaway as a token of my gratitude. It'll be for monthly VIP memberships to pass for any gacha game of your choice. Let's take a look, though, at what we have going on. In a stream, as a side note, they announced a global release and the start of pre-registration in December, but the game doesn't do well in Japan and okay in Korea. In the official Star Saver global Discord, the mood is not the best because of the fear it might go down before global release. I highly doubt that. The summary of the stuff that failed on release will be added. Here's a link to that. They then show a tweet going over supposedly them begging for forgiveness for the Japanese community. Okay, and then the official global announcement. Global launch schedule. Pre-registration begins on December 24th. Launch in March 2026. This is fantastic. Admittedly, that's 4 months away, which is incredibly disappointing. But at the same time, that's fine. It gives me time to play Arknights Enfield and Neverness to Everness, which are probably going to launch a little before this. But let's see the drama. The summary of the situation in Korea. Okay, this is a multi-phase thread. Here's an update. Star Saver does awful in Japan, compounded by failed live stream on the 23rd. It released in both Korea and Japan, but although the Korean release managed to gather a decent amount of numbers despite the complaints, the Japanese release bombed completely. One of the reasons why the Japanese release did so badly is attributed to the inaccessibility of account re-rolling, aka the resets, which is a significant part of Japanese gacha gaming culture. So it was widely inaccessible, the re-rolling aspect. A lot of global players are also very into re-rolling. I'm not myself. I don't really give a damn at all because I just take what I can get. The streamers paid to advertise Star Savior also weren't able to do it very well due to technical issues on the developer's part. First was that the streamers weren't able to access the special accounts meant for them due to issues with the Steam release. Okay. Second was that the tutorial simply took way too long and there simply wasn't much room to play or talk about the game once the tutorial was over. Oh my god, that's... I can understand why this was such a debacle. This all culminated in the Japanese live stream on the 23rd, which had a lower viewer count, especially since it was boosted by visitors from Korea, a generally negative reception from the chat, and a famous scene in which the live stream failed to pull a single SSR after 200 pulls. Okay, they did ultimately get one after pulling 220 times. The damage was made. Yes. That's actually hilarious. The devs themselves were up there, or the publisher was up there themselves, and they're like, this is very free-to-play friendly. We're just gonna keep pulling until we get it. And they didn't get one for 220 pulls. Does that mean there's no pity? I mean, that does not bode well. That is not good. Not at all. If you literally have to go all the way to 220 to get a single SSR, there's no pity at 80, 90, 100, 200? Okay. On the 23rd through 25th, the dev note release, Doom posting, anger all around, was released on the 23rd, which you can check in English on the other sub. The 3 takeaways from that were that the devs will change the BM by making the premium currency packs give 25% more currency. B, the arc point system, aka the memorials by users, will be changed so the events will be made available by affinity instead of limit breaks. I mean, that's good. But wallpapers will still be limit break only. And then C, loosened restrictions on rerolling accounts and no more unique usernames. I mean, loosened restrictions on rerolling accounts. So I'm assuming that made them happy. This completely infuriated Korea, first because A and B meant that the devs were fully aware of the users' issues with the game, but decided to respond to them in the most half-assed, passive-aggressive way possible. On the other hand, C meant that existing users would be placed at a massive disadvantage compared to new users, and while they could refund and re-roll their accounts if they wanted to, it felt like a slap in the face all the time and effort that they already spent on the game. Yeah, so this is just showing favoritism, is what I'm reading here, which is never good. Yo, I don't mean to interrupt the video, but I need to take a moment here to thank all my incredible patrons over on Patreon whose support continues to allow for me to do regular videos like this every single day on this channel. Thank y'all so much, including our YouTube channel members. You guys mean the world to me. So do you guys as viewers as well. Now, without further ado, let's continue. All the pity the users had towards the game evaporated in an instant, and the next few days were filled with users basically calling it quits and posting their refunds. Damn! I understand why global players are a little concerned and might not even make it over here. On the 25th through 26th, there was an apology live stream. Apparently it was successful, and then people calmed down. The live stream was held on the 25th, which is also released as a dev note and can be found in English on the other sub. The key takeaway was that it was a serious apology live stream that addressed a lot of the concerns regarding the BM, as well as the controversies that popped up since the last dev note. It was received with genuine surprise by the users who had all been expecting a lot worse. The live stream didn't address everything, such as the issues with the gameplay, but the mood in Korea has taken a swing for the better, with people willing to be placated by the changes and being a lot more hopeful for the game. The main topic in Korea has finally moved on from complaining about the game and the devs to people spamming PvP losses, achievements gives polls. PvP achievements give polls, okay, in order to prepare the optimal amount of polls for the upcoming changes. Okay, so basically it started off as a shit show and then they fixed things. So what I'm hoping for here is that they are aware of the game's shortcomings in Korea and Japan, and significant changes are being made to that version of the game, and that the global version, which is a version you and me are gonna play, is going to be the fixed version, because they can't fuck this up, right? They can't. They know all of this is a problem. If they apply all the fixes to the game before we get it globally, global, I think, will receive it very well, and it will do very well over here. On the other hand, if they don't, if we have the same issues that both Korea and Japan had at release, I guarantee you it's going to do terribly. And if those issues are present, I'm aware that they exist, so people are going to expect me to cover it. And if I have to cover it, you know it's not going to be a very positive video. And if it's not a very positive video, you know that some people are going to be like, oh, Stix is doom posting the game, Stix is hating on the game. When the reality is, if it is present, if these issues are still there in game, that they have an ample time, 4 months to fix them. 4 entire months. If they can't, if in almost half a year, you cannot fix the issues that you know are present, you deserve to fail. They addressed this. They stated that all these changes were being made. Japan and Korea are happy, which means that all of this should be fixed and that global should be fixed. I'm excited for global. I expect them to make sufficient alterations to the game so that everyone is happy and that the game is successful, because I genuinely hope it is. Studio B-side, the people that did Counter-side that are also making this game, deserve a win. And I genuinely hope that this is one. This was the tweet, apparently, that that they released the image where they were asking for forgiveness. Yep, they were apologizing. You know what? That's okay. I think this is a great sign for the dev team, because honestly, it is difficult to admit your faults. It is difficult to admit when you were wrong. So doing so is a sign that not only are you aware of it, but you are man enough to own up to it and then improve on it. So kudos to them for actually taking the initiative here, actually owning up to the mistakes and making sufficient changes to hopefully survive. Don't forget to pre-register. It begins on the 24th. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment, so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you're not going to regret doing so. Stay flaccid.